What the fuck?
I pressed it.
I don't think you pressed it.
Podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Oh, your mic is on.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Keanvenient Truth.
Hi, we're traveling today.
Traveling.
Getting it done though. Getting it done.
Traveling today, and I knew and he knew that if we waited till we got home from New York, actually from New Jersey, that we wouldn't want to do it because we'd be too tired. And I can't have that because I'm doing this consistency journey of mine and I got to keep it going. So it's the car. The car it is.
Great. Ours
What's
fine.
happening? So anyway, we just came to Jersey for my uncle's 70th birthday party, surprise birthday party, which was amazing, and we had a blast, and got to hang out with my family, which is always fun. And I don't know if anybody has this type of situation in their family, but we have a really big family on my dad's side of the family. So my grandmother had 12 kids, and then each of those kids had 2 to 3 kids, right? So we have a lot of cousins. We all grew up together, vacations together, very close. And so we do a lot of family things together. And now that we live in Rhode Island, which is closer now to New York, which is where everybody is, we now get to be a part of all these things, which I'm super excited about because I missed out on so much when I was living in Florida. I miss Florida, but I missed out on so much of the family stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nice being able to be back here and be close to everybody again.
Yeah. Only a couple hours away, good to go.
Yeah, for sure.
So
anyway,
anyway,
what I want to get into today while we're driving, I'm not going to be looking down so much, guys, because I get car sick. And if I'm looking at you and then looking up and then looking and looking up, I'm going to get nauseous, and then this whole thing will have to end.
you get nauseous because you don't know, depending on where you're looking.
Yeah, I already feel it right. I just have to stare at one thing.
Okay. Yeah, no, we were talking about kids and how they'll be, what was it? How they'll be when they get a little older, or how they're going to be in the world, or what we do now and how that's going to affect them.
We were having a conversation about starter, but we were just basically talking about how, I was saying that I would love to be able to have a financial life where when my daughter gets older, let's say she needs some help financially, she just needs some help paying for her apartment, or she needs help to get a car, or whatever it is. I want to be able to help her with those things. And I was talking about that because how I was brought up and how I was raised, fortunately, that's what we had, right? So my father definitely was able to help and assist a lot with those things, which really his whole philosophy when I was in school was focus on school, go to college, do what you have to do, don't worry about anything else, go get a job, don't worry about that. Yeah, just get your degree, do that, and then we'll go from there. And that was his philosophy, and that's what I did. And because of that, he definitely helped me out when I needed help, which was plenty of times.
But the negative to that.
No, see, but this is where I stumped you, because you were like, yeah, the negative, and I was like, what's the negative? I'm fine. I was like, look, I'm successful. I own my own practice. We're building. Lots of things are happening. I have a great house, live in Rhode Island. I've been a director of several facilities. I have a license. I'm a psychotherapist. I got skills. I'm trained. What's the downfall? I came out well. That's what I was telling you.
Right. Listen, there's like different paths that we can all take at certain moments in our lives, and we talked about that last night too, right?
Right.
And like, listen, obviously everything turned out fine. Potentially, if you had learned more like fiscal and life skills earlier on, this could have gone in multiple directions too, right? Like it could have just been harder for you and it would have taken longer possibly. Or if you knew exactly what to do and how to do it and you had saved up and done whatever, X, Y, and Z, you could have like accelerated the process of your career or whatever sooner, or I don't know. It's all like hypothetical at this point, right? But I don't know. I just come from the background of like, listen, my parents, they supported me, you know, they were like emotionally supportive, and they said, okay, yeah, whatever you want to do, we'll be there. But you know, they're always just like, you know, we don't have like a lot of money, we can't pay for college and stuff, but you know, they had some money set aside for me. I think like when I turned 18, you know, they gave me like, I think it was like $8,000 from like savings bonds or something, and I ended up buying like a car with that money or something like that. I mean, I probably could have spent it more wisely or something, you know, but like my parents didn't like, they like, you know, they weren't like kind of guiding me in any direction either.
Right.
So I look at all this, and I also take your lifestyle into account as well, like the way you were raised, and I'm like, listen, I think the sooner we can get our daughter acclimated and like mentally prepared for dealing with struggles in life, not to say that she needs to like fully like be rock bottom and fucking struggling and live on the streets. That's how
this conversation got started. We listened to Joe Rogan's podcast, and Scott Storch was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
And he kind of,
by the way,
that's a great one.
That's a great, yeah. By the way, side note, if any of you guys have not heard that one yet, please listen to it. Scott Storch's story is actually pretty fucking interesting. But he really came from nothing, you know? And he is someone who literally came from nothing. At 15 years old, his dad was like, you're either going to go to school and do this, or you can get the fuck out. And he was like, bye, I'm getting the fuck out.
And he like literally lived in a house with like no heat.
Lived in a house with no heat, freezing cold, was like couch surfing for God knows how long, and then just like, what, you know, and this is all in Philly, and then basically ended up, his first thing was being in he was a part of the Roots.
He was the piano player in the Roots.
Right, and that's how that started. So anyway,
yeah.
So as we're listening to this kind of struck the conversation up about like struggle, because he was talking about how he thinks that it's like important to have some kind of struggle in life. And so Joe and I were talking, and I was like, I don't want Soul to struggle.
No.
And I was like, I don't want my daughter to have to struggle. Like, I want her to, like, you know, let's say if she's struggling, she can come to mom and dad and be like, hey guys, can I just like borrow some money, or can you help me with this? And I'll be like, okay, yeah, sure. As long as she's doing stuff, right? Like, my dad didn't just give me money, but I wasn't doing anything. I was in school. I was fucking busting my ass. I was going to grad school. Did this, like, there was actually stuff happening.
But your first few years of college, you were fucking off and you were getting high. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
You know why? Because you didn't have to fucking worry about any shit, real life shit.
Right.
Because you knew that your dad would be there.
That's true.
Right?
But
so you slowed the process down.
I mean, I slowed it down. Clearly that was my process, right?
Well, that's what you needed.
I think that was my process. But as I'm like thinking about this and processing also, I think that it really is dependent on like the kid, on the person, right? Like my personality, a part of my personality is I am competitive, you know, like that's like a part of me. And that competitiveness and that willingness and that proactiveness really pushes me to like get shit done. So although my dad gave me, you know, basically like whatever I wanted, you know, and helped me out financially and helped me pay for apartments and all that, although those things were happening, that was never going to really interfere with my life because that just wasn't who I was. Like it wasn't in my core personality. Does that make sense?
It wasn't in your core personality, so what?
Okay. So like say if let's say if my personality was more introverted, chill, not really that motivated, confused about life, whatever it may be, right? If my dad was doing that to me, then I can see totally how I would have taken this turn and gone the opposite way. It wouldn't have worked in a positive way, right? However, because that's not who I am, and I've never been that child. I've always been outgoing, motivated, proactive, let's get shit done, that he did what he did and he enabled, but it wasn't going to interfere with my life negatively, because at the end of the day, there's no way that my competitive part would ever fucking let that happen.
But imagine if he taught you how to embrace that energy and utilize that competitiveness to your advantage at an earlier age.
I mean, would I have, I guess, graduated school like 2 years earlier? Sure. Because the school was what I was doing, and that's what was setting me back, because I wasn't taking school seriously for the first 2 years.
To me, it's more about like giving a kid the tools to know how to figure out situations on their own, but at the same time, being a parent, like letting them know, like, listen, if the shit really hits the fan, obviously you're good to go. We're gonna take care of shit.
But that's all I'm talking about. All I'm talking about. I'm not saying that I want to fucking pay for her life and let her like just chill, but like I want to be in a situation as a parent where, in the event that my child needs me for something, I am able to do that.
Now, would you have gone to college if your dad didn't pay for it?
Yeah.
You would have.
My dad didn't pay for college. That's why I have student loan debt. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, he paid off my bachelor's student loan debt.
Okay. So.
I have grad school student loans that is now my responsibility.
But initially, maybe you might have made different decisions too if it was your responsibility to figure out, okay,
but
which
it
school
was,
am I going to go, what am I going to do?
It was my responsibility, because although my father helped me and paid the bachelor debt, I didn't know that he was. So when I went into school, I went in applying for, student loans and all this, because I didn't know that my dad was going to actually do that.
Oh.
So I went into it thinking that this was all on me anyway. It just so happened that then, my wonderful, amazing / enabling codependent dad decided to then pay for help me out, which was great.
After you had already gone through the program, or like
this is after I'm already
Oh, so you went through everything, and then you thought like you just take on the student loans after you graduated?
But again, you have to understand, my mentality at that time was I didn't even think about student loans. Like, I didn't even care about student loans. I was just in school doing what the fuck I was doing. So like, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to pay this back, and oh my god,
nobody is. No kid is.
No, there's kids that think that today.
They do?
Yes, I can't tell you how many kids.
Oh my god, I can't imagine.
I can't tell you how many kids will tell me that they don't want to go to certain colleges because they don't want to have all this debt. So because of that, they'll end up going to like, their local colleges or whatever, because they don't want to have the debt. And I'm like, you guys are so amazing, because that was not my thought process, like, ever.
Yeah. I went to college a little bit later, so I was kind of aware, and I was paying for it all on my own. So that was a whole thought process. So then I chose a school that was like an accelerated program at like, a reduced price or whatever at the time. But anyways, my whole point though is, yes, there's many ways to get to the same goal, right? Of like having your child be essentially successful in life, right? Somehow. And, she may choose not to even like go to college for whatever reason, and then do some whatever. Who knows? She might get into God knows what, right? But like, I would prefer to like, I'm trying to like teach her skills now of like saving money and understanding what money is for.
Like, and I think that all of that is completely important. My dad never did that with us, and that's something that I do wish he had done, because I didn't know about how to, even like write a check until I was probably like in my 20s. Shut up. In my 20s, and like this is upper 20s, like 25, 26, when I literally went. I think he came out to Florida to visit me one time. This is a true story. And I bought toilet paper, I bought toilet paper.
The check.
And I know, well, with my card, but I went over like $20, okay, like in my account. Sorry, it was like $5.
I was gonna say,
no,
what kind
no.
of toilet paper?
It was like $5, right? But because I was so ignorant and I didn't know anything about money or how it worked, I let that $5 negative just go. And I let it go. And I let it go. Come to find out, months go by, and then I suddenly owed like $700.
It's like $30
off of
for
just
the
service
fees.
charges, fees. And so when my dad finally came to visit me, I told him that, and we like went to the mall, and he like sits me down, and at like 26, 27, then that's when we actually have to talk about money, and he was like, okay, this can't happen again. So let's go over. So that didn't happen. So I absolutely want Soul to know those skills because I think that they're very important. I didn't get to talk, in early age that I wish I did, but I do think that you're right. I think that she does need to learn. Again, never do I have I once thought that I want to have money and just be able just to pay for her for the rest of her life. I just want to be in a situation financially as a parent where, again, in the event, God forbid, if my kid is ever like, hey mom, let's say she's got her own apartment, blah, blah, and let's say she had a bad time with work, she got fired, something went down, and she needs help for the next 2-3 months with rent. Yeah.
I'm about that too. As long as she's like a responsible adult and there's a timeline on things. It's not like, okay, whenever, you get
No, absolutely.
No,
I completely agree.
We're willing to do this, but for a certain amount of time. You can't just keep
No, I completely agree.
Also, by that point, I feel as though we'll know her and know if she's like that type of person or not. I don't think
I'm
that
not
she
sure
will
if
be.
she is.
She'll
Yeah,
probably never ask us for money. That's how I think.
I don't know.
See,
I think you and I were thinking differently. I actually think that Soul's going to be the kind of kid that if things are made easy for her, she will not be motivated to do the hard thing.
Yes. That's what I'm
think
saying.
Okay. Yes, that's who I think she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she is right now.
Totally. Yeah.
That's why I'm working on her now, to just be more. I don't know, just be aware of things financially and where she's trying to go, making decisions, being able to save, this is why I get upset when she doesn't know how. She acts as if she doesn't know how to put her shirt on, and she comes to the room. Oh, give me help! My arm is stuck. I'm like, yo, you've done this 9,000 times, and you're 5 years old. Pull your arm out.
Sometimes it's true though. Sometimes her little hand it's stuck in a tight sleeve.
Enabling.
Sometimes it is true, Joe. She needs help. Listen, she came to me the other day.
She can figure it out though. But she can.
That's something
listen, this is what I'm talking about. This is something that yes, maybe she might be stuck, but she can figure that shit out. And if you don't let her figure that shit out, how the fuck is she gonna figure out,
Joe,
how to
I believe that Soul needs to figure things out, but I also believe in balance. And the way that I hear you saying it is very much like Soul told me. Soul told me specifically, she said, Daddy never helps me. And I said, how does that make you feel? And she said, sad. And I think it's because you're too much on this side with it. And so therefore she's like, okay, well, I guess Daddy's never going to help me. I think that it's important for her to know a balance of, yeah, I'm not going to help you all the fucking time. But and because of that, you need to also learn how to do shit.
I think it's the both of you motherfuckers don't remember the fucking 9,000 other times that I did help her pull her fucking arm out of there. And then I'm now like, dude, I've showed you every single way to get your fucking arm out of there. So utilize those memories and figure it out.
She's just turned 5.
This is what I'm saying. These are the struggles. This is what I'm saying. See, you don't realize, for her, yes, this might be oh my God, this is the biggest struggle in my life. I would much rather this be the most hardest struggle in her life to get her arm out of there, and then she figures it out, because that's going to lead to down the road when she comes to real struggles in life to be like, okay, let me just figure this out. You know what I'm saying?
But Joe,
Otherwise,
again,
then she's just like,
she is
Mom, Dad,
figuring
help me
stuff-
figure out like
she
how to
is
do this
figuring
dumb
stuff
stuff.
out because she knows how to do all of it. So you're acting like she doesn't know. She knows how to do all of those things. Sometimes I think that 5-year-olds, especially, are little attention seekers, and they sometimes want to create, you know, big moments for really little things. And sometimes I'll engage, and sometimes I won't. It depends how ridiculous it is. If it's really ridiculous, then I'm like, so enough. Like, this is ridiculous. But then if I can tell it's a moment where she's just wanting some extra nurturing for whatever reason, then I'll give it to her.
I hear that too, and I've been more. No,
Do you hear
listen.
that?
No, recently I have been more aware of that, and I've been giving it and not even like saying anything. I just do whatever. But like when it's something we've talked about a zillion times already, and I've helped her a million times already, and she's just like, and like I also don't have to every day just be like, okay, I'm gonna do this dumb thing that I already know you know how to do because you feel like, because you're in this mood today. Maybe I'm in the mood of like not fucking helping your ass because I know you know how to do it. How about that? Because that's real life too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I just believe that you could be a little more gentle just a little more gentle with your tone
maybe.
when talking to her. Because again, she's not like a grown child. She's 5.
True.
Like, were your parents nurturing to you when they spoke to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Were they?
I don't know. I think so.
Really?
I don't know. I don't remember ever asking them for. I mean, that was a long time ago, you know?
Yeah, but I think the reason I'm challenging is because, I don't know, your mom, I'm not saying that your mom is not nurturing.
I think Mom used to do everything for me.
She's, this is why you're so fucking bougie.
Right.
But I can also see your mom, though, being like, maybe there's like a little coldness there.
Not with me. I'm telling you. Not with me. You can ask my sister.
All right, interesting.
With pretty much everybody else on Earth, yes. But not with me. She'd do fucking whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was a little asshole.
Why do you think she was like that with you? Do you think
Because that's culture, I think. It's like the boy, you know, the
You're
boys.
the boy?
Same thing with like our
Spanish culture.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Interesting. And your dad, I can't even hear your dad really even talking to you as a kid.
Nothing of substantial, like, significance. It was like more just, he was just a happy guy. Like, fun and like loving.
Hey,
Give
bud.
me hugs and stuff like that.
Hey, buddy.
Every night, actually, we had this thing. Like, so he used to work the night shift.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, basically, he'd probably wake up, like, around, like, I don't even know. But basically, he was, like, getting ready for work. And he'd leave for work at, like, 8 or 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he'd do his dinner and stuff. And then before he walked out the door, I remember it was the whole thing. Give my mom a kiss. I'd give Daddy a hug, you know, like, kiss, good night, we'll see you tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. It was every night. You know, it was nice.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Well,
listen,
so how'd you become so harsh?
Just through experience of life. Like, I honestly wish my parents were a little bit more of that on me. You know? Don't let me be a little fucking asshole to you. That actually, I think growing up as a little kid, I didn't respect my mom because she didn't fucking put me in my place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's maybe where it comes from.
Mm. So maybe you basically now see that you were an asshole to your mom. So because of that, when you see Soul being an asshole, it triggers you even more because you're like, fuck that shit. I was an asshole to Mom. You're not going to pull this shit with your mom or me or anything like that. And then that's why you get mad.
Yes.
I think that's what's happening.
Oh,
So
yes.
you're getting triggered is what's happening. Because there's emotion in your tone of voice when she starts acting like that and she's like, I don't know how to do it. You get so like, oh, and she's like fucking with me, and I know she's fucking with me.
But my thing is
she is.
the consistency and the regularity of it that's the annoying part. Like, yeah, I can deal with it a couple times here and there or whatever, a few times a week or whatever, but it's like sometimes it's like very consistent until one of us, or actually everybody in the house has to like put our foot down and we have to say, listen, this is it with this thing, whatever it is, whether it's, you know, the nighttime underwear or whatever. Like, we all have to be on the same page and shut it down.
Yeah.
She'll take it to the freaking, she would sleep with a fucking diaper until she's 14.
Literally, guys.
If we didn't say
if
this
we
is it.
didn't make her and literally probably give her some serious consequences in the process, like, she would have wore that pull-up until she was double digits.
Meanwhile, as soon as we all lay our foot down and we do it, she instantly that day does not do it, pee in the bed ever. She's never peed in the bed. Maybe like one time, a long time ago, for an accident or whatever. But like, since we like took away the nighttime underwear, nothing, because she already fucking knew how to do it. And if we pushed her a long time ago, she would have fucking done it a long time ago. This is what I'm talking about with her, and it's specific to our daughter, you know. So that's where I think maybe this is just how it's supposed to be, right? Like, you're the mother that's a little enabling here and there, and I'm just the dad that's just like, fuck that bullshit. We've been doing this long enough. Stop.
Well, I think that's a good balance, right? I think that there has to be, because if she had a household, or if anyone has a household where you have two people who are just like overly nurturing, right? Or two people that are like, fuck that shit, stop it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then that's not contributing a positive way. Either of those situations.
Yeah, maybe that's where she'll get the balance, right? It's like, you know, because you were pretty much like raised by just your dad, so you kind of only got that. Well, your mom
earlier on. Now we understand that my mom actually was in my life.
But you were more heavily influenced by your dad, probably, like in your like teenage years.
Yeah, like, well, right. In terms of like what I consciously remember in terms of that stuff, yes, it would be my dad. But come to find out, my mom actually was there.
Yes. So you know what I'm saying, maybe the influence was a little teetered on one side or the other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing with me, like my mom was more of the parent than my dad. My dad was working all the time and he wasn't around like all the time, you know.
Right.
But it's different with us because we're both always around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
That is her balance, is hearing different perspectives all the time. I don't know. Also, I don't know how much more battery I have.
I know, your guys saw the battery thing pop up.
Yes.
Could
be any minute.
What I also want to know, side note for a sec, is like, when you guys have kids, and let's say you have an opportunity as parents to go to some event and go somewhere without your kid. So you're staying at a hotel, you're gonna go have fun, do all these things, right? Do you dive into this moment all in? Are you like, fuck that, we're gonna fucking get this, man, we're gonna fucking get fucked up, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna drink, we're gonna have all these laughs, we're gonna come home a little later than usual, we're gonna sleep in, we're gonna have sex, right? Or do you go into it like, man, I am so excited that we're gonna just go out and have a good time and have fun, and then go back to the hotel, watch a movie, and fall asleep, and then sleep in, but still wake up probably at the same time.
Still wake up early, but not have to
get up and do anything. Just enjoying the fact that you're able just
lay
in
bed. That's what I'm excited.
That's what I'm excited about.
Just for not having to do anything in the morning.
That's what excites me. You know, like that whole plan to me sounds like an amazing plan. That was what we did.
Yeah.
My sister was like, "Oh my god, you guys are probably gonna go and have sex," and we were like,
No, we're gonna go watch Matrix Revolution.
Oh my god, it was
on
so
the TV.
It was so. Oh my god! First of all, for those of you who still watch TV,
oh my god, insane!
I don't understand.
Keep putting your hand in my face.
Sorry, I don't understand why that's happening. Commercials are awful. TV it sucks.
It's like, how do you even get into anything?
You know what TV is like? TV is like a set of fucking blue balls. I've never had blue balls, but I would only assume that TV is like that because I'm watching a show or a movie. I'm into it. It's getting good. Oh my gosh, this is so good. And then here at Walmart, this is what we do. And now I'm like, I feel like I just got ramped up. I'm so excited. I'm so invested in this fucking movie just to fucking have to now take a step back and have my balls shrivel back up to where they were.
And then
because the Walmart commercial's on.
And then not only that, it's like freaking like literally 15 minutes of commercials.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what the fuck is all this? And then you like forget what the fuck you were watching before when it comes back on.
Right.
And then you get about 15, 20 minutes of watching it again, and then back to the commercials again.
You guys, everyone,
get off your commercials. I mean, your
save
your TV.
save yourself some money.
Yeah.
Get rid of your cable TV and just stream. Just get some apps. Apps on your TV. That's all you need. Fuck cable.
Fuck the news and shit. It's a bunch of negative bullshit anyways.
Oh my gosh. It's awful. But outside of that, though, The Matrix was amazing. And it triggered
we're getting
me.
back on the Matrix.
We're back on The Matrix. It triggered me to now I want to go home and start, because I don't really remember the first one. Nor, I'll tell you guys, nor do I really maybe remember, like, I am pretty sure that I do not and did not know what I was watching. I first watched. I'm pretty sure I was like, I don't even know if this is really cool.
And stuff, you're like, oh, that's cool, like, but you weren't like understanding the idea of like Matrix is.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was just like, oh my God, this is wild.
Yeah, no, it's deep. There's many layers to the Matrix, and as time has gone on, you watch the Matrix and you're like, holy shit, like this is almost like reality, right? If you really think about it.
Now I do, yeah. Now I see it like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some physicists and whatever that actually think we live in a simulation.
I have to think about that sometimes too, though. I'm just like, man, like, imagine there's like a whole different. Well, now I think about it ever since I found out about that fucking stars are suns and have their own solar systems around them. Now I'm like, definitely like, there's another solar system doing what we're doing right now on a whole other planet. And maybe someone looks like me, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
I think they say like the odds of there being like literally duplicates of every single person in the universe somewhere are like super high. Like it's like almost inevitable that there is potential for there to be the exact, like this moment right now is happening somewhere else in the universe, somewhere else.
So amazing to me.
But the way I see it is like you know, what to me is proof of this is like there is this spiritual realm of things that we can, it's not like tangible, but there's a consensus that it exists, right? Like meditation and you know, chakras and just being in this other world and pulling energy from there and like creating, manifesting on earth. So there's like that, maybe when we're meditating, maybe that's like that other world, right? And then we come back to this is the Matrix here, like we were driving on the highway going back home. But I mean, you know, this is a really deep conversation. This is like a whole fucking podcast. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
And then you're getting into like all kinds of physics and quantum physics and shit like that.
We should talk more about this in the next podcast. I just, one, don't have enough battery on your phone, and two, I'm tired. We partied last night until 11 o'clock.
Got really high.
Yeah, I did not really because I did, but I don't do edibles or smoke weed or shrooms anymore. But I do drink those THC CBD drinks when I'm